And I'm just going to do a video on the dash removal on the XE. I'm not going to go into the specifics, but I thought I would do a video on a few pointers just to help where to start and where to finish. The manuals are sort of useful, but not a great deal, to be honest. But look, they are there, and these things are cheap on eBay and all that. These manuals, these are next to nothing now on eBay. So anyway, there are drawings and where bits and pieces are and everything. Although, again, not a huge help, to be honest. But I'll just run you through the sort of step-by-step that I did. So it might help another poor soul. As you can see, it's busy. So the first thing I did was basically get the instrument cluster out, because I'm keeping that. There's a V8 instrument cluster there. They're rare and hard to find. So I've already done a video on how to remove all the center bit, how to remove the radio and all that sort of stuff. I've already done one of those, so just check that out. Clusters are very easy to remove. A couple of screws at the top, a couple of down the bottom. The surrounds are easy to get out. You just got to undo the light and the spotties if you've got them, and a couple of screws. It's really simple, very simple. It takes about 10 minutes. So, oh yeah, she's an old car, this one. So then it says the first thing you do is lower the steering wheel, but I actually found that was no good. I've left that until literally the last job. So I did take the steering wheel off, because in these cars it's very easy. It's like one bolt and then you just pull the steering wheel off. No steering wheel pullers, no nothing. So a few tricks. As you can see, the floor, she's a rusty one, this one. She's no good, hence why I'm stripping it. It's a V8 too, V8 wagon. Yeah, very rare unfortunately, but she's rusted out. So yeah, right. So once the instruments cluster's out, all the radio surround and all that's out, disconnect all the wiring in there. Then you've got to take the dash skin off. There's a few secret holes I've found. So the dash skin, just undo the holes at the top. The secret bloody bolts under here, there and under here, so just be mindful of that. You need to take the sides off as well, where the little side speakers go. Take all that off, and you just follow the bolts. You just undo one bolt, give it a little nudge, and undo the next one, next one, next one, next one. Just follow along. So it was a little bit of a battle, but we got there in the end. So that's basically what it is. There's your holes. There's the holes. These two, don't forget them. They're invisible unless you really want to look for them. And there's two more too, which so there you go. I forgot where they are as well. So anyway, there are two secret little holes in that lock. Just be mindful of that. You don't see them unless you actually literally look from the windscreen in. So yeah, so that's the basics of that. Unfortunately, this bolt was buggered and wrecked my dash. This was a beautiful dash, wrecked now. So the skin does come off eventually. It is not easy, but it does come off. Just follow the screws. So the other thing, you got to make sure you take the handbrake, disconnect the handbrake from the engine side. So with a V8, she's tight, but you can get a little spanner in there. So make sure that handbrake's off, because there's connections and everything under there. So make sure that handbrake sits to the floor. So I'm just trying to think. So console out, and then just basically work your way through and find the bolts, find the holes. There's a one down here too. You don't see it. It is a big bolt. It's about 1 inch long. So make sure you get that one. All the rest are just along the top. There's two hidden under here, so just be mindful of those. They can catch you out. The choke, make sure you disconnect the choke fully, because that holds everything in. And this thing here, which is actually the moving the Oh, there goes my light. Moving the, you know, the where the air flows. So just be mindful of that. Just disconnect. There's just a little tab. Straighten out the tab, and then that just pulls off. But make sure it's pushed all the way through. It says to label all the vacuum. I've only done that because I'm probably going to reuse these on another car. So if it's a wreck, you obviously don't need to, but obviously your car, if you're stripping it and putting it all back together, or installing air conditioning, which is what's in there. That's your heater box and aircon box, if you've got aircon. So I'm stealing that and putting it in another car. So yeah, I'm just trying to think what else is sort of a trick. So yeah, leave the steering wheel. You have to drop the column right at the last thing. A couple of things when you get to the stage of having this thing loose. So that's basically the whole dash setup. It will start to loosen. It'll start to loosen from this side. Don't forget the aerial. There's an aerial connection under here. Don't forget to pull that out too. That'll hold it all in. So, you know, there's bolts and stuff. Just follow it around. Don't undo these. No need to undo any of these. It looks like you need to undo the whole lot of them, but you actually don't. Actually, I think that's around. Oh, that's around the wrong way. Sorry. Sorry, my bad. That's what you're looking at. That's what you're looking at. There's your dash. There's your dash. There's your radio bit. So you'll see a whole bunch of these screws. Don't need to touch them. They're all good. They stay put. So there's those two big screws I told you about down there. Undo that, little clips and all that. That's where your steering goes. As I said, there's nothing on this that connects to steering. Nothing at all. So yeah, it's just a matter of nutting through it. Undo a screw, give it a little nudge, find the next one, find the next one. Right. So once you've got it loose, it'll start to loosen up. Right. Where the fun and games get is there's thousands of wires. So the wires you need to push through. You need to push the wires through the holes through there, like those, and there's another set through there. So make sure you wrap them up into a bit of masking tape or something so you know which wires go in which hole and label them. They all do fit, but it's a bit of a tight fit. Now here, this is where the relay box is. Don't stress over that. Same with the fuse box. Don't stress. Don't mess with them. Just leave them. They're going to be tight and stop it from coming all the way out. But what you do is you attack that at the end. So once you've got this sort of nice and loose, and you can get to the back of it. So meaning that's once you get to the back of it, righto. So once you got to the back, I'll go around and make sure I'm on the right side. Right, there's two bolts here. Undo those, and that'll push the fuse box out. Then you've got 3 bolts here, which you've got to come through from the back, because I'm talking about from the windscreen in. So there's 3 there, and that pushes that relay box out. There's a couple of screws along here that hold the harnesses in, the wiring harness in. So you need to undo those ones here. The harness is about that thick. So they then will release the harness off this. Push the choke through, because the bloody thing gets stuck on you. And just unclip. You'll see where the zip ties and all that are. But that's basically what you're going to end up with. So take this pointer of that, of what screws are left and what's not. Okay, it's nearly 10 minutes, so I'm going to have to finish. Anyway, so if it takes some learnings, I'll put it up when I do the aircon heating removal. Okay, hope that helps.